us! Woo!
Hey!
Yeah, woo!
And the reason I'm showing myself after long years of not showing myself is because I hit 20,000 subscribers, and I'm looking at Precious right now because she's on my bed. I'll show you later.
And oh, by the way, thank you for 500,000 subscribers!
I never thought we'd ever get this far, but thanks to you guys, we got to 1 million, and hopefully we'll get to 2 million, and then 5 million, and then 10 million. Is that what you want, YouTube? Not advertiser friendly! Is this friendly enough? Is that friendly enough? Oh, kid stuff! Oh, happiness and sunshine and fun and woo! Here we go! Here we go! Let's talk about something fun! Let's talk about cheese balls! But you know, we continue making these videos for you guys, and I just, you know, so we're gonna press the delete button now. On the count of 3 again, we're going to delete the channel. So 1, 2, 3.
Nintendo. Whenever you hear their name or see that iconic red and white logo, you probably look back on the fond memories you had playing their games as a kid. Games like The Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, and especially Super Mario Bros. But for me, I see nothing more than a corrupt company that lied and backstabbed the people that saved them from bankruptcy, going so far as to sue them in an attempt to end their career, all while manipulating the public into thinking they were in the right. In this video, I will be exposing the dark truth behind Nintendo. As a lot of you may know, Nintendo has an interesting history before video games. It was made in 1889 by Fusajiro Yamauchi. At first, Nintendo started as a Hanafuda card company called Nintendo Kopai. They quickly gained popularity and became one of the leading Hanafuda manufacturers in Japan. In the mid-20th century, Nintendo shifted its focus to diversify its product range. They tried different services such as taxis and love hotels, but none of them were successful. Then came the 1970s, and this is where Nintendo started their venture into the video game industry. Nintendo released a series of electronic games such as Light Tennis that were moderately successful. But it was in 1980 when Nintendo scored a significant breakthrough with the release of the Game & Watch. They became immensely popular, establishing Nintendo as a major part of the gaming industry. After the success of the Game & Watch, they created the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985. The NES revolutionized the home gaming market with its iconic titles like Duck Hunt and Tetris, becoming one of the best-selling video game consoles of all time, selling over 60 million units. Nintendo dominated the video game industry for the next few years. However, that was until Sega created their second console, the Sega Genesis, in 1988. The Sega Genesis sold very well for one reason: Sonic the Hedgehog. Although the games on the NES were fun and everything, Sonic the Hedgehog became the world's first major video game mascot. The badass blue hedgehog made the Sega Genesis the cool console to own. Although the Super Nintendo still beat the Genesis by 20 million units, there was still a point in time where the Genesis was outselling the Super Nintendo, even though it was still a very successful console, placing it as the 15th best-selling console of all time. It sold 10 million less than their previous console. It was clear that Nintendo needed to change something, because if they didn't, it would be the beginning of the end for them. Then came the 5th generation of consoles. Nintendo released their most powerful console yet, the Nintendo 64. When the N64 was released in 1996, it was considered one of the most powerful consoles of its time. The console's GPU allowed for real-time rendering of complex 3D environments, and games like its launch title, Pilot Wing 64, demonstrated the N64's capabilities effectively. Even with the N64 being twice as powerful as the other 32-bit consoles, it was still unable to beat the competition. Although it did beat the Sega Saturn, selling 3 times as many units, the N64 only sold about 30 million consoles, 20 million less than the Super Nintendo, and half of the original NES. But why did this happen? The answer lies in the Sony PlayStation. Sony was aggressive in its ads because in the 1990s, before the N64 was released, Nintendo was working on a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo. Nintendo approached Sony to make this add-on, but after disagreements with financial and licensing terms, Nintendo called Sony a cuck, and Sony retaliated and called Nintendo a submissive little twink. After that, Sony made the PlayStation, changing the video game landscape forever. Not only did the PlayStation outsell both the N64 and the Sega Saturn combined, with their mascot Crash Bandicoot, it sold over 100 million units, becoming the 5th best-selling console ever. This was basically the same story for the 6th generation of consoles, although this time Sony's second console, the PlayStation 2, sold 155 million units, which as of now is the world's best-selling console, and Nintendo only sold 22 million units. Nintendo was on the edge of bankruptcy at this point. The last hope for Nintendo was their console in development, the Nintendo Wii. Nintendo could not mess this up. If this console fails, this will be the end of Nintendo. 116 years of history, gone. On December 7th, 2007, a 13-year-old boy by the name of Logan 30acres started his YouTube channel by the name of Super Mario Logan. His first video, Super Mario Got Milk, was made with his custom toy that he named Mario. Although it's unknown how he came up with the name, it was clear that there was something special about this character. It wasn't some over-the-top, badass, anthropomorphic animal like what Sega and Sony had, but just a regular guy who went on interesting adventures. When Nintendo got into contact with Logan, they made a deal. Nintendo would be allowed to use the Mario character in games, advertising, and merchandise, along with being Nintendo's new mascot. In return, they would pay Logan for each video he made to help push the Nintendo brand. He would also be given free consoles and first-party games for as long as he kept making videos. They continued to make game reviews and skits for the next few years, and Nintendo had their best-selling console yet, the Nintendo Wii, selling 13 million units in the first year. As Super Mario Logan continued making their videos in the early 2010s, now with higher quality production and new characters they made up like Bowser, Black Yoshi, Bowser Jr., and many more, the Nintendo Wii ended up selling over 100 million units, with games like Mario Kart Wii and Super Mario Galaxy. All of this was able to happen because of Logan's characters. However, Nintendo wanted to change that. Over the years, Nintendo would plant old Super Mario games for the GameCube and older systems into random people's homes. They started a promotion that offered free Mario games to older generations of gamers. They had to sign a non-disclosure agreement where if someone were to ask how they got them, they were to say that they bought them in stores years before Logan even created his channel. All of this was done behind Logan's back. Nintendo was the one with all the power in this situation. But when I asked on a YouTube community poll the question, where does the character Mario come from, 61% of people were able to confirm that what I'm saying is true. After the success of the Wii, Nintendo created the Wii U in 2012. The Wii U, as most of you know, wasn't successful. It was the worst-selling Nintendo home console in over 45 years since the Color TV game series in 1977, only selling around 13 million units. Since the Wii U was selling so poorly, Logan put more and more effort into the production of his videos. Logan still had no idea that Nintendo was fucking him over this whole time, so Logan kept grinding at YouTube, having his most successful year. His fans loved the offensive humor that Logan brought to his videos, and Nintendo didn't mind since they were getting so much attention to their brand. From 2012 to 2016, everything was going great. Logan was making videos and making good money from Nintendo and YouTube, and Nintendo was still making money from merchandise sales in the 3DS. But that was until Nintendo found the perfect opportunity to cut ties with Super Mario Logan. On January 24th, 2016, Logan created the character Jeffy. Although many people hated Jeffy, other fans, including me, found him hilarious. This caused Super Mario Logan to hit 1 million subscribers that same year, but in 2017, everything started to go downhill. In March of 2017, Logan created his most infamous video, Jeffy's Tantrum. In this video, Jeffy wanted to get a game from the App Store. Mario said no because it costed money, and Jeffy went on to break a couch and a TV. After that, Mario beat Jeffy with a belt. Jeffy then became emo and threatened to cut himself so he could get the game. In a later scene, you can see Jeffy about to end his life before Junior stopped him. But the controversy really started when 9 months later, a mother reported to the news station Good Morning America that her 7-year-old son tried to tie a noose with Christmas tree tinsel. Good Morning America then released a segment on SML titled, "What Your Parents Should Know About Inappropriate Content on YouTube." With a 1-to-8 like to dislike ratio, people believed that Logan was in the right. However, YouTube disagreed. On December 11th, 2017, Super Mario Logan was almost completely age-restricted by YouTube. And on February 28, 2018, the channel was completely demonetized. As Super Mario Logan was demonetized, Logan tried again with his second account, Super Luigi Logan. The story of Super Luigi Logan isn't that interesting. Logan moved to his vlog channel after his original one was demonetized. This channel was doing well until it was later demonetized again. They then moved to their third channel, Super Bowser Logan. This one was actually doing pretty good for around 3 years. From 2019 to 2021, Logan uploaded his videos to the Super Bowser Logan channel. But sadly, a few months later, they lost everything. On February 13th, 2021, Logan's brother, Lance 30acre, released a video on his channel called Is SML Being Sued? In this video, Logan received a cease and desist letter from Nintendo, falsely accusing him of unlicensed use of their characters. Of course, Nintendo was lying and abusing their power, and Logan didn't back down because he had proof he was the original creator of the characters. However, Logan was unable to fight in court for the rights to use them in his videos. With Nintendo's dishonest practices, Nintendo had been using Logan's characters for almost 15 years at that point. They've done this for so long that most of the people who grew up with Nintendo still believe to this day that Nintendo created Mario. In the lawsuit, Nintendo banned all use of Logan's characters that appear in Nintendo's games. And about 5 months later, on July 4th, 2021, Super Mario Logan was deleted, along with Super Luigi Logan, Super Bowser Logan, and all of his other channels either being terminated or abandoned. Nintendo won. They promised a 13-year-old boy with a passion for video games and entertainment a career that millions can only dream of. They spent 15 years developing the lie of creating something they didn't, just to turn on Logan and try to ruin his life, just so they can earn more money by not paying Logan royalties for his characters. But in the end, Logan came back, creating his new channel, SML Movies. He made new characters to replace his old ones, and now has a successful and active channel with 6 million subscribers, 3 videos a week, and over 100 million views per month. Although Logan went through hell and back with lawsuits, demonetization, and losing multiple channels that he had for over half of his life, he was able to make his own brand independent of Nintendo. Even though billions of people still love Nintendo to this day, I know the secrets that they have hidden from the public. And now everyone knows the dark truth behind Nintendo.